Howdy peeps, and welcome to part 4 of my build series on the Tamiya SU76. Quick warning before I really get into this video, it might cut off all of a sudden. I am waiting on a call back at the moment about a job, so if that happens I will have to just stop. So if this video just cuts off at some point, that's the reason why. Now, where were we last time? Well, we had the main lower hull put together and the two sides of the fighting compartment, the sidewalls. So, what's next in the list of things to do? Well, we've finished step 8 and 9 and step 10. Step 11, the rear panel. So I shall pop these back in here, put that just out of the way, and I should try and remember to do this actually in shot. So we're starting off, find the right sprues first, might be an idea. So sprue A, this was sprue A, wasn't it? He says, yes. Sprue A5. Oh, hang on. Oh, shifted everything out of the way to film a review a little while ago, so. The pile of tools on the bench has got a bit jammed up, even more than usual. Both of those. So the other sprue A as well. This corner. Now, obviously what I'm going to plan to do with this build series of videos is put them up not too close together, you know, not every day or what have you, but I will be filming them quicker than I'm releasing them, so there may be some discrepancies between times and dates if I start talking about current events. It's just a thing I like to build, and having a part built kit sitting here kind of bugs me, so I will probably film it a lot quicker than I put it up. But I'm thinking after this episode we might start on some painting of the internals, so that'll be something different to watch rather than me just sitting here sanding and sticking bits, which I'm sure you've already got the hang of. And yeah, a quick shout out to Nige, who's actually bought one of these kits and is going to be building along with me, so interested to see how that comes out, Nige. Make sure you stick it up on the ISM Facebook page as you go, and let me know any feelings or thoughts you have about the kit, or things I may have missed or not noticed. Any issues, say if you get ahead of me, or if you get ahead of what's been released, you come across anything, let me know, because then I may have already got there myself and figured it out. You never know. Stranger things happen at sea. And as this is Monday the 11th of September when I'm recording this, at 9:15 in the morning if you must know, I just like to wish, obviously, anyone I know, Andy, Callis, and anyone else who may not be aware that they live in the area, anyone who's been affected by Hurricane Irma, the very best of luck. Hope nothing got too mullered, and that you're safe, sound, and all your family and everything is all good, healthy and relatively happy. It's Mother Nature can bite back, and there's not a lot we can do about it when she does. Yes, there are again some ejector pin marks on the inside of here, but again, once it's all together, they probably won't be visible, and I'm not going to worry about sitting here sanding and filling ejector pin marks, because we all know how to do that, especially ones like these which are so shallow. You just take a quick run over with a sander to get rid of them. I might actually do that. It's mainly those two that will be noticeable. I may actually just do that off cam later. These bits are going to need tweezers, I think. And again, big pile of tools. Where'd the tweezers go? There they are. So a little more glue. That one's probably dried out of it. And also, thoughts out to anyone affected by the Mexican earthquake earlier this weekend. Now, again, Mother Nature, nothing we can do about it. As much as we as a species like to think we control and understand how everything works, and we're in control of our destinies, and no, Mother Nature can whip our butts whenever she feels like it, and there is absolutely sod all we can do about it. So all I can say is I hope everyone, if I know you or don't know you, you're watching, just pray. No, I say pray, I don't do prayers or religion, but hope everyone is fine and dandy and nothing got too wrecked or destroyed. Mainly I hope your caves are okay and your stashes didn't get wet, because that'll ruin your decals. Sorry, I shouldn't make light of these things, but it's one of those things, I'm afraid. Now we've got the rear, oh, that's on this sprue as well, C41, there it is. The larger of the shell racks. I would say ammo bins, but it's not really an ammo bin, it's just a rack full of shells, and I will cut the shells out separately and stick them all with cocktail sticks, you know the score there. You don't want to sit here and sit there watching me or listening to me just randomly super gluing tiny little shells onto the end of cocktail sticks for later painting. Now, when it comes to the painting, I know from experience of being in hangouts that someone airbrushing with a camera running can be really annoying. So I might try and figure out a way of either explaining exactly what the next spray step is I'm going to do, and then showing you. I might try filming myself spraying on camera, but you may want to put earplugs in, because that's probably going to be quite a loud episode if I do that. I've not got a posh silent compressor. I've just got one of the AS186s that I suspect most of us have got, and they can sound like a Model T starting up. And mine's a couple of years old and overheats and makes some really strange noises as well, so even if it's not that, just the constant hissing from the airbrush is quite annoying. get in there. You know you want to glue my hands at the back of the shell rack. We get one side in. Get one side in place. Splat a bit of glue on it. And persuade the other side into position as well. Let's go back. Yeah. I think these are probably going together simpler than the mini art ones did, but I can't remember whether the mini art ones were styrene or etch. Never. Certainly far more brittle plastic. So we can see we've got all the shells. We'll ignore those for now. We'll put them in later. And now it's saying what? It's saying to put both sides of the fighting compartment on and then the rear on, which will make it pretty much impossible to paint. So what we'll do is I'll glue one side of the fighting compartment on, probably that side and the shell rack, then paint the other side and the rear part separately, and then stick them all together once they're painted, weathered, etc. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. That sounds a sensible plan of attack. So we want that side. Which we'll stick on. Well, that was a whole lot easier. Whole lot easier to line up than the mini art one was. So don't get me wrong, this is a nice kit and the mini art kit is a nice kit as well. It's just extremely complex considering what it is, with some very, very delicate fits, which is generally the case with mini art. They fit together, but the fit is so tight that you can think they don't fit. It's just the locating slots or tabs might be tiny or literally just the right size. So we'll pop that side on. These A3s, which I'm assuming go on both sides. Yeah, they do, but we'll only do this side for now. Just so I don't get ahead of myself and look at get to step 15 and go, right, let's do, where are those parts? Been there, done that. So once that's set a little bit, I'll stick these parts on, and then I'll pop the shell rack in. And I believe the next bits are the driver's hatch, and putting the main exterior parts on when it will start looking like a little tangy destroyer. Okay, we'll just quickly sand the excess sprue gate off. Not that there's a lot, or it'll ever be visible, and figure out where they go. There and there, right. Squelch. Little to hold it in. It shouldn't take much holding. There we go. Ooh, hang on. No, wrong place. You're in the right place. That's got it. Alright, so as I say, we're going to ignore putting the other side on for now. We'll just pop this shell rack in, which thankfully has a couple of locating markers. Although we'll just hold it in position and see whether it's going to make painting too much of an issue. Nah, that'll be fine. It's all the same colour anyway internally. You can see a little bit of a fingerprint in the back of it. Quick cover it up before someone tries to steal my identity. And a little bit of the white top glue, which is the thicker one. Not too much because it will spread out. It doesn't tend to evaporate like the extra thin does. But this part's probably going to take a bit of pressure when we start jamming all these shell cases into it. So that will hold it nicely in. There we go. Now we just drop a little extra thin into the little mounting holes there. So that will do us for now. We'll put C2 on the back of the plate just so I remember. And I don't get to the end of it, I wonder why I got a hole there. God knows what it is. You should just stick it on just to be sure it's on, then we don't forget it later in the build. And well, actually we'll keep hold of sprue C. So we've got 36, 37 and 24. You'd have thought that'd be fairly obvious. Alright, here we go. And 36 and 37. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to sing or hum or whistle or as I go. As I said in the previous episode, I'm used to having noise in the background, so sitting here doing this in dead silence with just the sound of my own voice is a bit strange, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Like most things in life, you can get used to them. And this is a very worn out sander, as I've said before, so it does take a little longer to sand down the sprue knobs than it used to, but still gets rid of them. So that's that. With the attachment point on these is on the bottom, so nearly dropped it. We won't worry about those because that one we will, because it's on the mating surface. So there's nothing in the driver's compartment, you won't be able to see anything in it. So we don't have to worry about what the inside of it looks like if there's a sprue gate sticking out. Even this won't be very visible at all. Knock some of the excess glue off so I don't end up pooling it all over the place and putting fingerprints all over the whole thing. And I don't believe there's anything goes over the top of this. A little bit of glue on the top. Unglue it from my finger. And we'll pop this in, which will be back plate done. And it's going to be a tweezer job again. Near enough. Just adjust it into place. There we go. So now we've got the big chunky bits. B10 and B12, which and some of these side details. So clang. He says he's trying not to hum or whistle and then starts doing it straight away. And you know what? I think that's pretty much had it all the way down now. I think I might have to break out a new sander soon. Make sure we got everything off we can. We do have a slight seam line there. There's nothing to worry about, but might affect final fitment. And again, the good thing about Russian armour, specifically World War II Russian armour, if the parts don't fit perfectly and you get a slight gap or something, it doesn't really matter, because if you've ever seen any of them, you know, T-34s, KVs, anything like that in the tank museum somewhere, half the time you can get your fingers in the panel gaps. Backs of T-34s in particular are notorious, or are notorious, for the size of the gaps you can get in the back of them sometimes. So they were built to be good enough, and they were. So I was just getting rid of the join on the top of that. I'll glue it from underneath. He says we can get his finger in. There we go. Good thing about the extra thin is it wicks itself around where it wants to go with capillary action, so you don't have to worry about gluing the surfaces first and then making sure that things are stuck. You can just pop the glue in and job done. This is some very nice cast texture on this little driver's hatch cover, and the weld around it looks quite nice as well. I get the feeling this is going to build up into a rather lovely little kit, as long as I don't screw it up, mess up the weathering or painting. And as the last one I built was knocked out, which well, I didn't really have much choice after the tracks disintegrated. Oh, and there goes the Hermes or Herpes lorry. And then, how's that going to fit? What do we have here? Yeah, that's where I had that slight issue the other day with this, so we will just take that back a little. That'll do. It didn't go in quite straight or square, I don't think. I think there's a slight. Yeah, it's not going to affect anything fitting really, it's just going to leave a little gap there, which you got. I think the exhaust pipes and stuff go over anyway. We should soon find out. Yeah, there's an exhaust pipe runs straight over that, so it's not a problem. So now where do we glue it? Let's just glue it along the edges, that'll be fine. Bit extra thin. And along here. So here's where we find out we may have something in there on the hull, and then the front plate doesn't fit. But that's half the joy of modelling. Correcting things, fixing things. Otherwise it's just assembling. I'm not entirely sure where that is. It's a blooming tight fitting between those there we go. We pop it in at the front and then rock. Oh no, we're going to slide it in, I think. Slide it in from the top because of the rivets or bolts on the back of the final drive covers. That's got it. That's in, there's no gaps. There's a little hole there which I'm guessing something goes into. So again, you just glue all the way around it. Yeah, that looks like it should go down a bit further. So if we line them both up and pop them both down at the same time. As you can see, this side is slightly too far forward, so what can we do to fix that? It fits into a gap in the side of the hole, so if we pop this off with a bit of luck, what can we do to move this piece back slightly? Well, we can remove a little more material from here. Won't take much. As I say, these are supposed to line up together, not as an overlap. So if we remove, as that side fits, it's not until we get to about there we're having problems, so unglue it, slide it out. So if we bevel that a little, and then maybe take a little off the front as well to get it to slide a little further forward. Again, we're talking tenths of a millimetre, so tenths or hundredths of a mil. We're not talking large panel gaps. And we're there. Just slight adjustment, doesn't mean it's a crap kit. I've seen people with slate kits for that kind of issue. It doesn't fit 100% perfectly instantly. Well, adjust it. It'll go in. It's only plastic. It's not uranium or anything. If you remove a little too much, you can always fill the gap afterwards. And that is down as far as it goes. That is not. The other good thing with extra thin as a glue is it does melt the plastic, so where we've got slight tendrily bits, have I got a big ass clamp ready? I will clamp this into position while I let the glue dry, because we want it. It's one of those main parts that needs to be on properly, straight. So a couple of big ass clamps around it, and look up and check the time. And what do you know, we're at about half an hour. So that does look a bit strange. It does look like one side is a lot higher than the other. So whether that's got something it should fit into. If I put that on in the wrong place, is that why I've stuck it in the wrong bloody place? Let's see, if we line that up, line it up, then we've got a gap. I haven't got a view of that side. Let's look later on in the instructions and see what we see. See if we can see the front of it. Yeah, that does overhang, and that is relatively centralised. Yeah, that's it, we're in the right position now. That was the problem. We had it in the wrong place. Still in the wrong place. That should explain the height discrepancy on the front. There we go. That's got it level again. Well, ish. Yeah, so pay attention to where you're gluing this top plate. It goes inside the hull on this side. Again, that'll just look like a bit of rough Russian welding by the time the glue sets. See, we all make mistakes. It's just how we deal with them and fix them afterwards, or as we go if we notice them. So I'll just glue the front plate down. Let's see, it doesn't need the clamps anymore. It just sits there. Why did I doubt Tamiya? They know what they're doing. Only people who engineer and mould as well as Tamiya, well, the only people as good if not better than Tamiya are Bandai. Some of the stuff they do is just ludicrous. Right, so where were we in the instructions? We were there, so I will just glue on the two A3s and the C14, and I will call, well, I'll do that off cam. We're over half hour already, so I'll get those glued, and then we can forget about that and we can start painting the interior of the fighting compartment next time. So again, thanks for watching. Rock on, peace, have fun, and bye bye.